India has cleared a $6.2 billion defense procurement package spanning air defense, loitering munitions, and naval systems, a multi-domain capability surge that lands while Lebanon's ceasefire framework unravels and Iran's post-Khamenei transition takes shape. India's Defense Acquisition Council, chaired by Defense Minister Rajnath Singh, has approved procurement proposals worth approximately 52,000 crore rupees, roughly $6.2 billion US. According to Telegram channel Intel 24/7, the package includes Akash Tarang anti-unmanned aerial vehicle systems, the medium-range surface-to-air missile system known as MRSAM, the man-portable anti-tank guided missile, or MPAT-GM, very short-range air defense systems designated V-SHORADs, tank protection systems, kamikaze loitering munitions, naval mines, shipborne UAVs, and high-altitude pseudo-satellites for the Indian Air Force. Intel 24/7 notes this follows heightened India-Pakistan tensions and signals an accelerated push toward indigenous multi-domain combat readiness across air, land, and naval dimensions. A source identified only as Raji told Telegram channel Bint Jebel News that the recently reported Lebanon Framework Agreement is not a final deal. The source described it instead as, quote, a base from which negotiations can be resumed to be completed. This is single-sourced and unverified by corroborating outlets in this reporting window. However, the framing materially downgrades expectations of an imminent comprehensive settlement, leaving the conflict situation diplomatically fluid. No timeline for resumed negotiations was provided. This development should be treated with caution given the single-source nature of the claim. The United Nations Interim Force in Lebanon, UNIFIL, issued a notable on-record statement to Sky News Arabia, with its spokesperson saying that ceasefire violations in southern Lebanon come overwhelmingly from the Israeli side. This formal UN attribution carries diplomatic weight beyond typical telegram-sourced reporting and corroborates prior accounts of ongoing Israeli activity in the buffer zone. Taken together with the non-final status of the framework agreement reported separately by Bint Jebel News, UNIFIL's statement adds institutional pressure to an already fragile diplomatic track. It may influence the posture of international actors engaged in Lebanon mediation efforts. The funeral of Iran's late Supreme Leader Ali Khamenei drew international attendance, with delegations from Thailand, Myanmar, Serbia, Cuba, and Guam among those represented, according to multiple corroborating telegram reports cited by channel Geosite. Hadi Khamenei, brother of the deceased, eulogized him by stating that, quote, martyrdom was the most fitting reward for him. Geosite notes this martyrdom framing carries deliberate domestic political weight, reinforcing a narrative of sacrifice and continuity for the Iranian leadership during what is an inherently uncertain succession period. The breadth of international attendance reflects Iran's maintained diplomatic alignments outside Western frameworks. Footage circulated by Telegram channel 2 Majors shows a Russian unmanned aerial vehicle striking a gas station along the Krivorishska highway in Ukraine. No casualty figures were provided in the source material, and this remains a single-source telegram report. The strike is consistent with the ongoing Russian drone campaign targeting Ukrainian fuel infrastructure and logistics nodes. Attacks on highway fuel points degrade both military logistics capacity and civilian supply chains in the operational area. Independent verification has not been confirmed in this reporting window. Strategic assessment. First, the economic picture. India's $6.2 billion approval is the most immediately significant economic signal in this digest. Open-source analysts note that the package's emphasis on indigenous systems, Akash Tarang, MPAT-GM, MRSAM, channels capital toward domestic defense industry rather than foreign procurement, with compounding effects on India's defense manufacturing base. Separately, continued Russian UAV strikes on Ukrainian fuel infrastructure, as documented by 2 majors, sustain upward pressure on regional energy logistics costs, though no specific price data was available in this window. On political stability, Iran's post-Khamenei transition is the most delicate political variable across the digest. Geosite's analysis highlights that the martyrdom framing deployed at the funeral is a deliberate regime continuity signal designed to consolidate domestic legitimacy during succession uncertainty. The breadth of international attendance, notably non-Western states, indicates Iran's axis of alignment remains intact for now. In Lebanon, UNIFIL's formal attribution of violations to Israeli forces increases diplomatic pressure on Jerusalem and could complicate the political calculus of mediating parties, particularly the United States and France, and the wider geopolitical consequences. The Lebanon file presents the most immediate escalation risk. A framework downgraded to a mere negotiating baseline, combined with a UN body formally attributing violations to Israel, narrows the diplomatic space for a durable settlement. Watch for whether mediators, including the United States, respond to UNIFIL's statement with tangible pressure shifts in the next 7 to 14 days. India's procurement surge, meanwhile, is a medium-term deterrent signal directed at the regional environment shaped by recent India-Pakistan tensions. Intel 24/7 assesses this as an acceleration rather than a routine procurement cycle. Iran's succession trajectory warrants monitoring for any internal factional contest that could alter Tehran's external posture. The convergence of India's defense acceleration, Lebanon's fractured ceasefire diplomacy, and Iran's uncertain succession underscores a week where deterrence postures and diplomatic frameworks are simultaneously in motion. Follow this channel for structured open-source analysis as each of these threads develops. This brief is based on publicly available open-source information and is for educational and analytical purposes only.